Hey everyone, welcome back to Car Drive. Today we're sitting in front of what might be one of the most interesting electric SUVs to hit the market in 2026 at the Geely EX5. We'll be taking a thorough look, everything from its design, comfort, performance, price, and whether it's really worth your attention. So buckle up, and let's get going. From the moment you see the EX5, it announces itself as modern. The front end has a strong, clean face and the grille area is mostly closed off since this is an EV, but Geely has still given it presence. Sleek LED daytime running lights framing the sides, a bold central badge, and a sharp lower bumper design that adds a bit of aggression without going overboard. Look at the headlamps, sharp, high resolution, with a precise cut-off. They emphasize a technological feel. The front fascia also hides aerodynamic features, minimal creases, all aimed at reducing drag. On the bonnet, subtle lines flow toward the windshield. It's elegant, but with just enough edge to feel purposeful. Moving to the side, the proportions are well thought out. A long wheelbase gives you more interior room, and the roofline slopes gently toward the rear, giving an almost coupe-like silhouette without sacrificing practicality. The windows are large, helping visibility, and the side mirrors are well mounted to reduce blind spots. The wheels are a key styling statement. In higher trims you get larger, eye-catching rims which fill the arches nicely. The body panels are smooth, with character lines that flow from front to back, giving a feeling of motion even when standing still. Handles are clean, possibly flush or semi-flush, and there are useful touches like wheel arch cladding and some lower body protection, in case you venture onto less perfect roads. At the back, it all comes together. The tail lamps stretch wide, connecting visually across the rear, which gives the car a wider stance when seen head-on from behind. The bumper is sculpted, with reflectors in good positions, and there's a rear diffuser-like element at the bottom for aerodynamic balance. There's also a tailgate that's nicely shaped, possibly electrically operated in higher-end variants. The rear glass is fairly steep, offering good visibility out the back, and the roof spoiler is subtle but adds to the sporty, aerodynamic profile. Overall, it looks modern, clean, high quality. Stepping inside, that's where the EX5 starts to impress on comfort and tech. The seats up front are multi-layered for comfort. You get dense foam, padding, some finishes that feel premium, maybe ventilation or heating depending on trim. The driver and passenger get good bolstering, and the seat adjustments are generous. Higher trims may even include massage functions. The rear cabin is even more impressive. Legroom is substantial, headroom generous. Passengers won't feel cramped. The windows are large, giving a light and airy feel. There's a panoramic sunroof and higher spec trims, which adds that open-air feeling. Dashboard layout is modern, large infotainment screen centrally placed, clean interface, few physical buttons, mostly touch or haptic controls. You'll also see a digital driver display, and likely a heads-up display in more premium versions. Ambient lighting adds to the mood. Materials feel well chosen, soft touch surfaces where your hands rest, good stitching, plastics in lower sections improved, minimal rattles. Storage is thoughtful, cup holders, a generous center console, door pockets, maybe underfloor or under-boot compartments. Boot space is decent. There's likely an underfloor storage section for cables or small items. Tech features are plentiful. Connectivity is strong, elements like voice control, large screen, perhaps wireless updates. The sound system is premium in higher trims, possibly multiple speakers, strong clarity. Climate control is likely dual zone or even tri-zone in top trims, with air filtration, maybe a mode to pre-cool or heat via the app. Comfort and visibility features like multi-angle cameras, parking sensors, possibly a 360-degree camera in premium trims. The cabin manages to maintain quiet even at highway speed. Insulation seems good, wind noise and road noise suppressed well. When we turn to performance, for many buying an EV that's as important as looks. The EX5 uses a front motor, front-wheel drive setup. Peak power is around 160 kilowatts, with torque up in the 300 to 320 Nm range. That gives brisk acceleration, a 0 to 100 km/h in about 6.9 seconds depending on battery and trim. Top speed is enough for everyday driving, highway cruising. There are battery capacity options, smaller battery for shorter range, larger for longer distances. The longer battery variant promises over 500 km CLTC or similar in favorable conditions. Charging speeds are reasonable. DC fast charge is available. AC charging at home works as expected. Battery is of the short-blade LFP type, which helps safety, longevity, and decent energy density. Handling is tuned for comfort more than outright sport, but that's not a bad thing. Ride quality is compliant, smooth, even on rougher roads. The suspension absorbs bumps well, though there's some body roll and harder cornering, not surprising for a relatively tall EV with soft comfort bias. Steering is light in city driving, making maneuvering and parking easy in sport or more dynamic modes. Steering can feel more responsive. Also braking is strong thanks to regen, and brake feel is confidence-inspiring. Controls overall feel modern and intuitive. Safety features are equally solid. Multiple airbags, stability and traction control, driver assistance systems including lane keeping assist, blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert. Some versions offer adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, maybe more advanced driver aids and premium trims. Then there's efficiency. Consumption figures are in the range of 11 to 17 kWh/100 km depending on the battery. Wheel size, driving conditions. Lighter wheels help with real-world range. The aerodynamic design and battery integration, cell-to-body structure, help with reducing drag and improving efficiency. Range under real-world conditions will likely be lower than the ideal test numbers, especially at highway speeds or in hot, cold weather, but it remains competitive in its segment. Now for a price. Depending on country, imports, trim levels, battery size, and tax incentives, pricing will vary. In markets like Australia or New Zealand, the EX5 Inspire or equivalent trim sits in the mid-SUV range, offering strong value for what you get. In those markets, you are getting a lot of features for relatively less than some established premium brands. The battery warranty tends to be long, often 7-8 years or similar, which helps peace of mind. If the EX5 comes to Pakistan or nearby, local duties, import taxes, incentives for EVs will significantly affect what you end up paying. It might be more expensive than in its country of origin, but even then likely competitive versus rival EV crossovers. We can compare what you pay versus what you get. For example, the charging time, range, comfort, tech, and reliability versus cost of ownership. Less fuel, fewer moving parts, often tilt the balance in favor of an EV like this. But consider availability of charging infrastructure locally, service support, parts availability. If those are good, then EX5 becomes a strong contender. So what are its downsides? A few things to watch. Range under real-world conditions will be lower than test figures, especially with heating, cooling or heavy loads. Some driver assistance features may be less polished, particularly on winding or secondary roads. Steering feel in basic mode might feel a little disconnected. Ride, while comfortable, will compromise a bit when pushed hard through curves. Also depending on trim and options, you might have to pay extra to get premium features like the sunroof, massaging seats, or premium audio. Overall, the 2026 Geely EX5 is a very compelling package. It delivers strong value, modern design, good tech, and a comfortable ride. It doesn't try to be a hardcore performance machine, but for what most buyers want: a daily driving, long trips, comfort and efficiency, it checks a lot of boxes. If you're in the market for an electric SUV and want a vehicle that gives you more than just the basics without going over the top, this is one you should consider. Thanks for watching Car Drive. If you liked this full breakdown of the Geely EX5, hit that like button, share if you found it useful, and subscribe for more car reviews from across the world. Drop your questions in the comments, I'll try to answer what I didn't cover. Until next time, drive safe, and see you in the next video.